This episode is brought to you by Joy Events, the world's most effective event planning software.
Hello, it's Stuart Mitchell here, and it's my first time on the Event Tech Pull-Up. Bit of a guest takeover from Catch the Mice on the Catch the Mice stand at International Confex 2026. I'm really excited to have one of the best guests I've got all day. It's Abi from Grip. So we're getting to grips with Grip. Over to you, Abi. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so I'm Abi Cannons, and thank you very much for having me, by the way. Been very excited about this.
Pleasure.
I work for Grip, which is an event platform and app designed to boost revenue for our clients and organisers.
And as I said to you in our briefing earlier, it's always a bit of a challenge doing an events industry event for event professionals. It's the biggest event, I think, one of the biggest events in the UK, International Confex by Mash Media. And you guys are looking after the tech and today's app beside it. Tell us a little bit about the challenges that brings.
Yeah, so as you know, Stuart, it's very much like cooking for chefs when you are supplying an event that actually serves event organisers. So everybody here is either a peer, a competitor, a prospect, or already a client. So it's you're very much under the microscope. But it's gone very well. We've actually amalgamated all of the 3 different apps that we've had in previous years into one app to rule them all, as I've been saying. And it's gone very well. I've seen the activation rate go up, so hopefully Mash are happy with the results.
Congratulations. I know that we're in day 2, so at this stage you're either pulling your red hair out or you're beginning to relax a little bit.
Yeah, I think, first morning nerves yesterday, as always, so, it's nearly stage fright, but it went well, and by 11 o'clock I was bored, which is always a good sign.
Goodness, congratulations, got rid of all the challenges before 11 o'clock.
Although I've seen a couple of people today and they've said, you're looking much more relaxed today. So, okay, well, that's good. I don't know what I looked like yesterday.
Plus the networking, we had an event tech meetup, I think it was Tuesday night, was it?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And then probably another bit of social last night.
Exactly, a lot of social last night, yes.
Well, you're doing particularly well for day 2.
Thank you very much.
Quick question, just tell us a little bit about Grip.
Yeah, so as I say, an event platform and app designed for matchmaking and networking. So we also do registration, we also do on-site as well, but really our bread and butter is any sort of event that has a desire to increase the number of meetings between participants. Normally that's buyers and suppliers, traditionally, but it acts very much like a dating app. So it does matchmaking on the basis of a mutual interest. So it doesn't recommend, the person with the biggest budgets or the most senior job title to everyone. It recommends people on the basis that there's probably going to be a business conversation that's going to be valuable for you. So that's where we kind of started 10 years ago, and it's increased since. So more recently, we're in beta for our AI concierge bot within the app. So that's we know that there's a lot of data sitting in the app already, so why not be able to use it as a support in the run-up to the event? So that's new, but here today, most of the exhibitors are using our lead scanning, our lead capture devices. So it's built in the app, making it really easy for all the teams to be scanning people's leads, taking notes and exporting them whenever they like. So, yeah.
We've been doing that on our stand here today.
Has it been good?
It's been great.
Oh, good.
Yesterday was good. Today's still yet to come.
Okay,
early doors. A quick question. What would that be your differentiating factor?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we have something that we call Must Meet, which is a pre-scheduler for meetings at an event. So, for example, one of our clients, Money 2020, big conference-style, Confex style event.
It's a big event.
It is. And they've relatively recently added a pre-scheduled meetings program on top. So really, like I say, the USP really is that matchmaking, networking, arranging meetings, make it much easier to deliver ROI to the paid sponsors, really.
So in terms of pain points, what pain points for a potential customer does it solve?
I think that proof of ROI. So there's a lot of data that comes in, as you can imagine. We can, the organiser can see who's connecting with whom, what meetings are being arranged between people. It makes it far easier for them to get an understanding of the value that they're delivering to an exhibitor and work with that. I mean, the data afterwards, it allows them to take really, key strategic decisions, because if you can see what the buyers are doing and you can see what the suppliers are doing, you can actually look at that networking mix and see whether, if you've got a lot of desire for something from the buyers, so a lot of interest in a particular type of supplier, and you only have a few suppliers that do that allows you to go out and sell to those people, to invite them to come to your event, and vice versa. If you've got a lot of suppliers of a certain thing and not as many buyers coming to the event that are interested in that thing, well, you know where to push your marketing then. So I think that's the value for the organisers, is really that data and how you can use it to make strategic decisions and have a much clearer view of what's going on at your event.
I know you've been very good at helping event exhibitors, for example, use the app.
Yeah.
I sat on a couple of briefings beforehand, so this is behind the scenes sort of stuff,
Yeah.
to give you a bit of an idea of how it works. And those are really useful, and I think from an exhibitor point of view, we're all extraordinarily time short.
Yeah.
We're short on our time. These things which you book a year in advance suddenly come up very quickly, and then they're on you very, very quickly, and you've got an app to deal with, you've got a lot of integrations to deal with, which don't always work, let's be honest. I think we're all in event tech here. The integrations is the biggest challenge.
It is.
I think. I mean, what challenges have you experienced and which you've had to overcome?
Not so much a challenge, but where we worry, of course, is where, when our company is talking to another company and that data's flowing in between. I mean, we have a team of integration engineers at Grip, and we try and play nicely with all of the other suppliers where we can. But of course, that's a pressure point, because you're reliant on both sides working correctly. So my concerns yesterday morning were very much like, are we integrating with on-site reg with RefTech, for example? The HubSpot integration from the pre-reg forms, that's been running for a long time. We've got native integration with that. So actually, we don't tend to worry about that. It's any of these managed integrations that are built bespoke for the event. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but I mean, touch wood, it worked all right.
And I'm going to ask, are these APIs that are you use, or is it a Zapier integration, or?
Yeah, so there's a number of ways that we can do it. So as I say, we've got native integrations at sort of basic API pools. We're using a webhook with RefTech. So it depends on what we're doing with the data and which way it's flowing. So
And data in and data out depends on the quality of the data.
It does. And of course, as you know, that's the most challenging thing, is is the data coming in correct? So where we're doing matchmaking, we're relying on our suppliers to say exactly what they do and what they service and what they sell, and the buyers to be accurate about what they're interested in order to do that match. So, I mean, on the most basic level, the data in is important, but actually the more the attendees are interacting with the app as a whole, not even on an individual basis, the AI is learning what. So every time I search for something or skip a company or whatever, it's learning. So to an extent, that data in is really important, but actually it's also the behaviours of what people are doing that help it to be better. Yeah.
And I've seen the app. I mean, it's very extensive. There's a lot of drop-down boxes. There's a lot of options that are available.
Yeah.
I guess, let's be honest, I think 99.99% of the audience will just be scan, click, won't even qualify. That's it. What are the features which you're frustrated that the buyers, the suppliers, the attendees don't use, that wish they had used?
Right, listen here. Exhibitors, listen here. One of the things that's really underused, so all the exhibitors, they have, there's a part of the platform called Teams, and it's where all of the team members that are on a stand are located. It's where all of the scans come in from each of the team members, all aggregated into one area. There is an area within that bit of the platform, and it's called leads, and it's inbound leads. So it's people you can see who's been looking at your company profile, who has that person been showing interest in on this team of exhibitors, and it allows you, even if they haven't reached out to request a meeting, you can see intent of it looks like this person has gone onto my product, and they've gone onto my company, and they've looked at my profile, and they've looked at your profile. That suggests intent, and it allows you then to pre-event go after that lead and start being proactive. Say, hey, I see you've looked at a couple of our people's profile. Shall we meet at the show? And hardly anybody uses this, and it's such a shame, because it's that be proactive, go after those ones. We're showing you it, but I think people just don't realise that it's there. But it's such a missed opportunity. See, I've got all red in the face.
I know you're kind of passionate behind it.
I am.
No, you're right, and I think this is indicative of the event sector as a whole.
Yes.
Those attendees at a show are so time short that they are literally looking at your app on the train, on the way down, if they do that, maybe even on the tube,
Yeah.
when they're attending, just literally coming through the door or downloading the app at the time. And the other thing, let's be honest, infrastructure, Wi-Fi infrastructure, that is the biggest challenge, I think, to our sector as a whole.
I agree, and I think, whilst there's a lot of features that work offline, obviously, we are quite often in Wi-Fi poor areas, but I think, one of the missed opportunities again is that pre-engagement. The app went live 3 weeks before the event, and that is a missed opportunity for those suppliers and buyers to start planning what they're doing. Because the thing is, if you just rely on turning up and bumping into the right people, that's very old-fashioned. You could be planning your entire journey around the show floor based on what your objectives are, and I think that's again, that pre-engagement. But it's the same, it doesn't matter what industry, we see it all the time. The suppliers often come in that little bit early. The buyers, those attendees, really don't go in. They don't even start thinking about it until about a week out. So again, that education piece around why they should do that, I think that's also missing from our organisers, is to say, right, this is the reason why you should do it. Like, rather than just say, we've got an app. Okay, plan your event. Make the most of your time. You're travelling all this way. Maximise it. And I think it seems simple, but yeah, needs saying.
I am with you 100%, but I could go blue in the photo. So you've got red and we've got blue, yes.
More and more heated in this
no,
conversation.
you're absolutely right, and it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
Are there any other features which you'd like that you feel are either on the roadmap or are underutilized as a solution?
Yeah, I mean, we recently acquired a registration platform, and one of the main features of that, actually, because we do a pre-scheduled meeting software, one of the things that we have quite a lot of clients in that sort of, not necessarily hosted buyer space, but that very meetings-led event space. And quite often where you do have hosted buyers, those applications, they're not really registrations, they're applications to attend. And one of the main features of our registration platform is that application process and converting them into a registration when you've approved them as a buyer. So we're seeing that being used a lot more at the moment. I mean, apart from that, like I say, we're only a couple of weeks into having our concierge bot, so I'm looking forward to watching that increase. Yeah. And
I've got just a quick question. What would be the sweet points in terms of volume? You've talked about today's event is, I'm going to say, a middle-sized show in real terms. It's the biggest MICE event, one of the biggest MICE events in the UK, but it's not a big show by show standards. What would be a sweet point in terms of delegate numbers? Exhibitor numbers, that sort of thing.
I mean, actually, I think that this is quite representative in terms of that sort of trade show size. We go up to, into the sort of 80,000 size.
80,000?
Yeah, so actually LAMA, one of my shows, that's 50,000 people. That's in the farming industry. I'd say my shows, one of my clients' shows. I don't run it, sorry, AgriConnect.
Take it.
That's a large-scale one. I mean, this is nice because once you start adding in an interactive floor plan and things like that, that's when the app really comes into its own, because it's really, anything that's massive really takes some navigation, and I think so that would be our sweet spot. We love Confexes, we love paid for Confexes. That's where we see the most value coming in.
What numbers are we at today, roughly, approximately? 10,000?
I haven't looked. I would a guess, yeah. I would say so. It's sort of anywhere between the sort of 5,000. I mean, 1,000 to 50,000 sorry, I wasn't speaking to the mic. 1,000 to sort of 50,000 is good for us. But I mean, really, we work with a lot of really tiny events as well, just because they want to enable that sort of list of people able to see one another. Founders Forum, perfect example, like just delegate listings and people being able to connect with one another. So, yeah. All sorts. We're licorice all sorts.
Abi, I know you're busy today and you've got to get back to the show floor. Are you locked in a room with no lights?
No, I'm actually out on the front desk, on the help desk, which, like I say, is very quiet at this point. So, I'll do some rounds later. I'll have a look at any exhibitors that maybe haven't sort of logged in or had a look at their leads before the show ends, to sort of encourage them to take advantage of people while they're still here. But yeah, I mean, this is at this point in day two, I'm just quite happy, ready to go home now.
I know the feeling. Yeah. Thank you, Abi, for your time. Really appreciate it, and
thanks
for being on our stand today.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye.